Hey everybody, welcome to Enliven Wellness. My name is Tessa Gurley and I'm really excited to be here. So, first of all, thank you to all my subscribers and thank you for hitting the subscribe button and the little bell button next to subscribe so that you're notified whenever I shoot out one of my new videos and whenever I go live, which I do often, specifically on Tuesdays at 6:45 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So, I wanted to make a quick video today to share with you all something that I always get asked, and so I just wanted to put it out there on the interweb. Everyone's always like, what symptoms did you suffer from? Like, how sick were you? You know, I get this question about like, how sick were you all the time, which I find interesting in a couple of ways, because I'm like, I understand that you want to relate to me for sure, but I choose to not stay in the sickness anymore, and I focus on healing and I focus on moving forward, right? So like I don't focus on where I was. I focus on where I'm going and where I'm at now. But I understand that you want to relate to me, so that's why I'm making this video. So I'll tell you a little something about like where I've been, and so that you can see, you know, that like I've been exactly where you are. Okay? I've been exactly where you are. And of course my cat's gonna join, Meta. But all right, it all started when I was about 9 years old. And when I was 9, I remember very distinctly I had gone swimming in France and I had gone cliff diving. And so I think that I was exposed to some kind of parasite or maybe Lyme or whatever. But I was also having a lot of severe trauma in my life, okay? And so it was like hand in hand. Very interesting, the correlations here. Now, I remember sitting at the restaurant and literally being like at a restaurant after I went swimming, and I was like just doubled over in pain, just hurting. And I remember like barely walking to the car that day, just like, oh my God, you know. And of course, like again, I was having a lot of trauma in my life, and then this happened. That's kind of when everything started. I started having severe panic attacks, like to where I'd be like, check my pulse, like I couldn't breathe, I can't breathe, like I was like freaking out. And then I was very highly anxious. I tried to cope. Again, lots of trauma was happening in my life, so that was going on. You know, I have a really deep trauma story that I'll share sometime on a public stage, but Meta doesn't like that. And anyway, I was also just highly, you know, not like, I was just really anxious. And then I started to try to use like drugs and alcohol and eating disorders to cope. So I ended up in the hospital, and I was at Texas Children's Hospital for a long time, about a month. But they fed me horrible foods, you know, like Hot Pockets, whatever. I destroyed my digestion there. And then when I got out, I became addicted to drugs and alcohol, so I obliterated my gut with those and my whole body, just like my whole system. And I was, again, like just not feeling vital. Like and of course I was drinking and using drugs, so obviously like having lots of health issues also. But then I moved, when I got out of rehab, and I was still like, I was always having bloating and just like bad digestion and just not feeling super hot. And then I got out of rehab and I had this allergic reaction to an antibiotic. One time I went on, because I was on antibiotics all the time, and I had chronic sinus issues, like chronic sinus issues. And then when I got on that antibiotic and I had the allergic reaction, then I went to the ER that night, and they put me on like all different kinds of drugs to help with this allergic reaction. But I remember distinctly after that time, and again, lots of trauma was happening at the same time. So lots of trauma, and then lots of this physical stuff. And again, I went to California Pizza Kitchen with my ex-boyfriend, if Devin's out there watching, hi. And I was eating the food, and I was like, oh God, like just in severe pain, and it felt like a piece of cement had been like solidified into my intestines. And then after that, it was just like everything just like went way downhill, like total bad anxiety, decreased capacity to exercise, less cognitive abilities, frequent colds, and allergic reactions and like food sensitivities and, just feeling fatigued and not motivated about life and anxiety and depression and, and then I moved back to Colorado. Plus I was like anorexic at the time, moved back to Colorado, and I moved into an apartment that was leaking all the time. So I was probably exposed to mold there, but I've probably been exposed to mold my whole life leading up to that point. But I also had a lot of trauma and my system was just beaten down. So everything like came together. And if you're part of this family, you know that my premise is not that it's just about the mold. Like, this isn't just about mold, you guys. So my point that I'm trying to make with this whole story is like, it was so many different factors that contributed to me like having my complete downfall. Okay, and basically, after that, I moved into that apartment, started getting even more anxious. My digestive system, which had been crap before, was still crap. Pardon me one second. Sorry about that. I had to put little Meta in a little bit of a timeout. He was being a little loud. That's okay. He can do his thing, but I just need to... All right, anyway. So I was having, like I said, like chronic digestive issues, bloating, like farting constantly. No matter what I put in my body, I would fart. It was not good for the dating life. I can tell you that. And then I again like started to have breathing problems and memory loss and loss of cognitive abilities and inability to stand up and weird neurological issues and vision problems and floaters and ringing in my ears and like weird temperature intolerance, more food intolerances, more anxiety and depression. And I mean, it was just like lots of things. Then I moved into my other apartment where it was confirmed to have mold. And then, again, I had like really bad anxiety, vision problems, couldn't breathe. I mean, the breath was one of my main issues, was just like really bad shortness of breath. But it had been like that for like as long as I can remember. It was really hard for me to get a deep breath, which it's not anymore. Like I couldn't even do that. Like I'd be like, right? Again, sinus issues, goodness. I mean, it was just like this huge laundry list of things. Pain in my muscles and my joints. Like I've been there. I get it. The reason I'm sharing this publicly is because people ask me this all the time. They're like, how sick were you? And it's like, I've been there. I was diagnosed with EBV. I was diagnosed with Lyme. I was diagnosed with mold issues. I was diagnosed with, oh my gosh, like, SIBO, low stomach acid, a sluggish liver, parasites, Giardia. I wasn't diagnosed with Giardia, but I definitely pooped it out, and I saw that. Lots of bad parasites, because you know that I'm actually a fan of good parasites. Check the video up. I'll be recommending it up here, that there are such things as good parasites. I definitely had Candida. At one point, my tongue was black. Like black. Then that was not too long ago. That's only been since I came off of vegetables. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But, oh my gosh, what else? I was severely underweight. No matter what I ate, I was like 89 pounds. Doctors didn't believe me. I was like, I'm eating all the food. They're like, but you're so skinny. I'm like, I don't fucking know what to say. Like I'm eating 2,300 calories a day. Like, and I wasn't getting stronger and like waking up in panics, which is slowly getting so much better. Not slowly, but quickly getting like, because I still have so much going on and like, I still sometimes wake up with anxiety, but it's like in terms of the volume of it, way down. And generally I can pinpoint to what happened for that to happen. But another one of my big things was severe brain fog, and specifically after I would eat. And it drove me absolutely bananas. And if you guys have been part of my family for a while, you know that that's something that like I was still struggling with. up until pretty recently. And it was like, that was like my one thing. It was like one thing that was like left, and I was like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? You know, because I haven't touched sugar in like almost 6 years, and like I eat super clean, I was ketogenic, you name it. I was still having brain fog after meals. You know, and that's why I ended up going to this raw carnivore way of eating. Now, I don't force that on anybody, and watch some of my videos about this topic, but raw carnivore has been the godsend that I've been looking for in terms of diet. Period. All right? The brain fog is gone after I eat. Let me repeat that. The brain fog is gone after I eat. Like, that has not happened for I don't know how long. So, wow. Okay, like, this is why I get passionate about talking about it. That and fermented meat, you know, and coming off of the vegetables. So do I advocate this for everybody? I'm not saying you have to go there. What I'm saying is that this is what works for me, and all of my clients who are adopting this eating method are seeing the results, and they're benefiting. There's something to it for those of us who really need to heal. You know, and you can say whatever you want, like, oh, your gut's just broken. No, I tried healing the gut. Oh, and then I should be able to eat whatever I want. Like, I tried it, you guys, and it wasn't working for me. So I don't know. And like, so many stories out there are the same. So do you have to eat like this forever? I don't know. What I know is that if I'm doing something that feels this freaking good, I want to stick with it. Do you have to go there? No. Maybe give it a try for like 30 days and see how you feel. That's all. You know, but I'm not, like, again, if you ever want to do coaching with me, I'm never going to force that down your throat, so to speak. I might get really passionate and say, like, you got to try it because it feels so good, and everybody who does it feels this good. Like, you're just like, you feel awesome. But you don't have to. But objectively look at what you're eating and ask if it's working. Anyway, that's a whole other video about diet, but I just wanted to share with you, like, what I went through, what I was diagnosed with, what was going on with me. Oh, and lots of like pressure in my head, you know, like there was a lot of different weird things, balance issues. Like I would sway really, really bad when I stood with my feet together, which is a sign of neurological damage, and now it's not. Like I used to be like, right, and now I'm doing it. And I think there's just a little sway. There's just a little sway I see. But it's like I used to be like I couldn't even do that. So my neurological system is healing. And it takes about 8 months for all the cells in your nervous system to be overturned, by the way. So, you know, I'm not surprised I'm still having a little bit of this and that. Oh, and I had mercury amalgams, mercury toxicity, heavy metal poisoning, faux show, hardcore. Okay, so again, like I had these things. But that's why I formulated this new paradigm and this approach of cellular healing at the cellular level and energetic level, because that's how I've gotten better. And that's what I want to share with all of you out there. So if you're interested in coaching and you want to heal at the cellular level, and you also want to be one of those stories that says, like, I had these symptoms. I once had these symptoms. Not have, had. Then please email me and say I'm ready. My email will be down below. I would love to hear from you. I do 30-minute free consultations, and I can teach you these things. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of my Enliven family. I love you all so much, and I hope to hear from you when you're ready. Bye.